Alright, welcome back coders. This is video 8 in the series, and in this one we're going to learn how to implement different page layouts depending on the URL. So let's get started. Okay, so as always, make sure you check in any of your project's pending changes before we get started. And to begin, I thought what we would do was create two different page layouts. And I guess for the first one, what we'll do is just convert the existing template with the nav bar at the top and so on. We'll use that one as our standard layout, and then we'll create another one we're going to call the minimal layout, and we'll use that one for something like page not found or maybe a sign-in page. And to do that, what we need to do is go ahead and browse to our app folder, and we'll make a new folder and we'll just call it layouts. Looks like I had already made one. And go ahead and browse to that in the terminal. And then we'll create our two components. So ng space G space C standard layout. And the reason we're getting the multiple modules is because of the server one that still exists. I'm going to go ahead and delete that from the source so we can stop dealing with that. And let's try this again. Okay, you can see we've gotten it to actually create this time. Now let's create our minimal layout. Okay, perfect. Those should be in our app module already, which you can see that they are. And let's go ahead and browse in. So let's just start by converting the existing layout that we have in our app into the standard layout, and then we'll go ahead and create the minimal one next. So to do that, I think what we'll do is we will take everything in here, go ahead and copy that, and then let's just remove everything except for the body and the router outlet and save that change. Then we'll go into the standard layout, HTML, and we'll paste our nav menu and the div for the site container in there. Go ahead and save that. And then for the minimal layout, actually, let's go back into the standard one. We have the router outlet. Just wanted to double check that. And for the minimal one, we can just go with something simple. We can still use the site container just to have something in there. It's not required. Okay. So we've got our two layouts. The next thing to do would be to actually go assign these layouts to different routes depending on the URL. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up the app module.ts. And in here you can see this is where the routes are defined. What we need to do is we need to change how we're using that default blank route, and we'll go ahead and redirect it to a /home. That way we can nest these inside of different layouts, and that'll make more sense in just a moment. So let's start with the blank path, and then we wanted it to do a redirect to the home route, and its path match is going to be full. Alright. The next thing we want to do is to actually start another path, and this is also going to be blank because from here we're just saying to match things on the way down until you find one, and then it'll keep traversing the routes until it finds the match or has to go to an invalid route, due to not being found. So this is where we're going to get the capabilities to nest different routes inside different actual layouts. So let's just continue. The component here is going to be our layout, and we call that the standard layout component. And the way that you give this path different pages under it is to assign some children. So we'll assign children, and that's an array. And then what we can do is we can copy all of the existing routes and we'll just paste them into that array. And then the next thing, we need to go ahead and rename the blank one in there for home to an actual path of home. And that's going to give us the standard layout with the nav bar and everything. And then we can just copy that and paste another one. But for the second one, we'll go ahead and use that minimal layout. And I think what we'll do is we'll get rid of the counter from the standard layout and just leave the counter in the simple layout. So what we have here is the home and the fetch data. We'll use the standard layout, and the counter, we'll go ahead and use that minimal one. And let's go ahead and start debugging, see how we did. Okay, perfect. You can see we did get redirected to /home. We still have the full layout going. If we go to fetch data, we still have the full layout going. But if we switch to counter, we should be looking at something completely different now. Which you can see that we are. We have that minimal layout applied to it now. Everything still works as you'd expect. It's still a component that works just like it always did. Of course, now we don't have a menu, but that's how you apply multiple routes. Hopefully you learned a couple things. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.